What's going on, everybody? Another episode of Verbal Garbage coming at you live and hot. It's a Monday. I'm gonna start trying to do these the Monday solo episodes, just kind of rant and recap the weekend, any activities I had on Monday, and kind of just talk about some things. And then Friday, whether they're pre-recorded or live, I'm gonna do the Friday episodes, having a guest on, a friend, an acquaintance, a foe, a rival tool salesman, a former video game cohort, if you will, anybody. Like I talked about, one of my buddies reached out to me the other day, and because I was talking about doing multiple episodes in a week, and he kind of stressed the importance of the consistency. Doing if you're going to do one episode a week, release at the same time, two episodes, same deal. So as of right now, I'm going to plan on doing Mondays and Fridays, and if I can book interviews ahead of time and bank them for Friday, that's going to be the ideal way to go about it. First thing that comes up to my mind today is Father's Day just passed yesterday, and for whatever reason, Mother's Day, don't get me wrong, the moms brought us into the world and they do so much, but Mother's Day seems to be this whole get up, all this preparation for everything going in, and when Father's Day comes around, it's just like, oh, so I just want to give a shout out to my dad, all the dads that I know out there, new fathers that have been around a while, fathers of multiple kids, fathers looking after stepkids that aren't biologically theirs. It's a thankless job, without a male role model in our life to help mold, the way of living we want to grow up upon, how to mimic someone. My dad, from when we were young, even growing up in New Jersey, where it was, super strict with guns, and he was kind of stigmatized for being into firearms. He got us into firearm safety real early on, how to load, reload, check a gun to see if it's chambered, just little things like that. And then as we grew up and got older, we were able to go to Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania, where my grandparents lived, and go out there and, shoot paper targets on trees. We'd be shooting his Colt 1911s, M1 Garand. So we'd be shooting, awesome classic guns that he ended up going and being able to sell them on an auction years later for, I can't even tell you what kind of profit he made off of those. So yeah, I just kind of want to shout out to my father, shout out to all the dads out there that, doing a thankless job every day. You're leading by example. You're the provider, you're the protector. So, hopefully one day I'll have kids of my own and be able to experience that, but I'm sure it's a whole nother animal. Moving on, this weekend I know not everyone listening is going to be a UFC fan, but or an MMA fan for that matter. But the issue I'm having right now is I try to pride myself in being such a people pleaser and figure out, what people want to hear and try to cater to that. But it's very hard to try to, you talk to one guy who's a painter, another guy who's a mechanic, another guy who coaches jiu-jitsu, another guy who does jiu-jitsu and bartend, stuff like that. Everybody to have the same blanket, this is what entertains me and this is what doesn't, is going to be very tricky. So I'm just kind of coming on here, like today, I had a few frustrating moments at work and had some thoughts going, and I just kind of like the idea of coming on here and ranting and just kind of going off the dome for between 25 and 40 minutes, just spitting my thoughts. So this past weekend, another incredible UFC card. This is back-to-back weekends now where arguably the two best cards of the year have come in consecutive weekends. This weekend was a fight night in Austin, Texas. Off the top of my head, I believe there were 9 finishes, which tied a UFC record. And I want to say 8 of them were first round finishes. We had a Darce in there. We had a spinning elbow. We had a doctor stoppage due to a massive hematoma on an eye. I've never experienced one of those with fucking eyeball swells up and it sticks out literally like a golf ball coming out of your eye. I don't know what the kind of procedure is. You're draining that shit out. You stick a needle in there. Like, what goes on with that? But just a awesome fight night. There's a guy, me being from the South Jersey area, any Philly fighters, the Dawkins brothers, Jeremiah Wells, who just fought, Sean Brady, Paul Felder, any of those guys I'm obviously preferential towards. And Jeremiah Wells fought Court McGee, and fucking battered the shit out of him. His speed, his power came together. And I believe he went to go throw an overhand right. It got blocked and came in with a left hook, flatline Court, out for the count. Like I said, Ricardo Ramos had that crazy spinning back elbow. I believe the first prelim of the evening was Roman Dolidze. I think he finished Kyle Dawkins, my boy, with a Darce choke. The main event was a back and forth bloodbath. Josh Emmett, Calvin Kattar. Josh Emmett eked away with the decision. Very close call. Not going to say a rivalry one way or another. It was pretty even. So no no qualms, nothing to complain about. I just want to highlight, if anybody has ESPN Plus and they have the ability to go back and rewatch the fights or certain fights, it was an incredible night of fights. And, I understand it can be a little overwhelming for people who don't understand it, trying to watch it and comprehend it. But if you're an MMA fan, prospecting MMA fan, you don't know shit about fights, come on the podcast. We'll talk. I'll try to educate you what I know and go from there. So yeah, I just ended my day finishing up the work truck. Going to gas it up. And it's funny, like right when I took this job, I was so terrified of driving anything bigger than a fucking Kia Cadenza, which is my little Korean import I'm driving right now. But the Kia has a stigma to it, but whatever. I was driving a fucking piece of shit Buick, didn't have AC, couldn't open the driver's side door, looking like a fucking rugrat trying to get in and out of there. And people like when I was selling shrimp, I was going in that car and then I would be like getting out to visit prospects and I'd be jumping out of the driver's side or the passenger door. I'm like, if they weren't going to buy overpriced shrimp to begin with, now they see some fucking dingaling jumping out of the passenger side door, lacking professionalism in every capacity you could imagine. So yeah, but anyways, I was just at the gas station, put $175 in the work truck, and shout outs to my boss. I'm able to use that Get Upside app. So pretty much every time you put gas in your car, you use this app, and you just get cash back. So I've been riding the gravy train for quite a while now, and all the cash back is thanks to him. Just got me thinking of old gas station stories. Now in Florida, you pump your own gas. In New Jersey, you used to have to wait for the attendant to, come up to you and provide the service. And I just specifically remember when I worked at Sherwin-Williams, I would go to the same gas station every single night to get, $20, $30 or whatever. And now that I'm thinking about it, like you would pay credit and get one price and cash, you would get a lower price. But I always had a card, so I always paid a little bit more. But I remember there was this one attendant who would just come in and just be such a lazy little schmuck and would just sit there and like stand in between, the drivers and the passenger side door and just like reach his arm out and be like, money. And I'm like, come get it, So we'd have all these weird encounters and, I never escalated the situation, but I have a really close cousin of mine named Crystal Peterson. And if you don't know what that means now, you'll know eventually, you know who I'm talking about. But he had a little bit of misplaced rage, I guess you could say, during his developing years. So yeah, Crystal was a crazy cat. And there was one time where he was going to get gas, and believe he asked for a certain amount. They put the amount in, and Crystal didn't have the money. So what does Crystal do? Crystal calls his sister Christina, and she comes with her boyfriend and bails him out, and long story short, my cousin is fucking locked into a little like phone booth like Colin Farrell, sitting on the phone pretty much like locked away from the gas attendant because supposedly there was this whole thing where my cousin didn't have the money to handle it, and I don't know, some words were exchanged, some pleasantries were thrown back and forth to each other, some threats possibly could have been made. Yeah, Crystal really went off the deep end. There was a period of time where he was wearing, baggy sweatpants with a white tee and Timberlands, thinking he was ingratiating himself into the hood. I'm not sure where he was going with that, but just brought me back to thinking of all these crazy gas station memories. I know my dad grew up, he was in the sign business for a while, and then he bought into a gas station and was running a gas station for like 20, 25 years. And he's got all these stories of people stealing from him, this and that. But my dad definitely had a little bit of a rage and anger. And I always think it's funny because my brother took after his rage and his shortness of temper. So many instances back in the day with road rage at gas stations or gas rage or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I just specifically remember one time, and I don't remember if this was my story or I'm hijacking this from one of my older sisters, but either way, it's true and the people are going to hear it. So who cares who originated it? My dad, I'm pretty sure it was my two older sisters, Sarah and Jenny, Sass, as we like to call her. They were sitting in the drive-thru. I think it might have been a gas station or a bank, and somebody had cut my dad off, cutting in line, trying to save a couple minutes to get home, catch the basketball game in time or whatever the case may be. So, my sister was sitting in the driver's side seat, and feel free, whoever's story this really is, to correct me and come on and get the story right for the people. Right as I said right, I had a giant drip of armpit sweat working its way down the body. Funny thing about that is about 2 years ago, I made the switch over to that natural deodorant. I was hearing all these advertisements about the Native and all these other things. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm sitting here spraying the fucking aluminum deodorant all over my arms each morning, inhaling that shit, getting a crazy, like, imagine the mixture of smoking a bong pack and then inhaling that aluminum right after. I've never been high since, I've never been able to compare. Just kidding. Compare since, but ever since I've been switching to stick natural deodorant, you fucking sweat so much more. There's no aluminum in there to lock the pores, so your boy just goes nuts. It's just a fucking waterfall, and you know, it's a trade-off that I thought would be worth it. You're paying 13, 14 hours a stick now, but do I have cancer in my armpits? To be determined. We don't know yet. I sweat a lot anyway, so this could be something I regret down the line, but trying to be organic, live all natural, like the trends are going towards these days, and take care of it. So yeah, like I said, my dad got cut off in his car, and my sister had been eating a phenomenal New Jersey meatball sub, I'm sure at this point. And you see, I've even transformed a little Floridian here. We call them hoagies in New Jersey now. I'd be saying subs sometimes. So she was in the middle of scarfing out on her meatball hoagie and meatball. Now I'm all overthinking sub hoagie sandwich. My dad pretty much proceeded to reach over, grab half the sandwich, and launch it at the guy for cutting him off, cursing him off. And after the whole build up, it might not have been as funny as I anticipated, but just memories are so funny. And another little avenue I'll go down that I may or may not regret. My dad's 79, about to turn 80, and he grew up in a way different time than we did. And now it's all your gender pronouns, and do you accept this person, my dad's a little old school, and he had his certain stereotypes built in how he was raised, and it is what it is. So it's just so funny because coming back from like church or football practice or weightlifting, whatever Kurt and I would do together, we would pull up to a gas station, and like as we would pull up, we would just ask my dad, like, hey Dad, what do you think about Indians, or what do you think of talent or any of this? And like, we would do it a couple times and we get his honest, unfiltered thoughts, which will never be repeated on here. And then like I remember one time my brother would just pull it up slowly, we're all talking out of fun, and hey Dad, shut up, I know what you're trying to do and it's not gonna work, stop it, Kurt. And just all these little outbursts that were just so funny. And whether he's hurling meatballs at somebody or cursing off his kids for asking him a question, it's all out of love. He just knew when you get to a certain age, you're trying to agitate and get a rise out of him for something like that. So yeah, it's just funny. Something else that just popped into my head. Oh shit, oh my god. Okay guys, we've actually never had this happen before. I have a New Jersey cell phone number calling into the line right now. So let me pick up first, see who it is, and then we'll go. Hello? Get the fuck out of here. No way. Okay, let's see. All right, so if you guys can believe this, it's actually Nicole Palizzi from Jersey Shore, season 1 through whatever. And she heard about my little prospecting trip coming up, so she's just want to drop by and say something. Snooki, I'm putting you on speaker. Say it whenever you want. I'm going to the Jersey Shore, bitch! Thank you so much, Snooki, for calling in. All right, guys, so that was Snooki dropping her line. And I reached out, called in a couple favors for a little celebrity quote, if you will. Just booked my flight to New Jersey. I'm going to be going July 12th to July 17th, visit my sister Jenny, my brother-in-law Bob, nieces and nephews. Hopefully I'm going to be able to see my sister Sass and her 2 kids. And like Snooki said, I'm going to the Jersey Shore, bitch. I'm also the sweetest bitch you'll ever meet, so when I'm down there, I'm hoping to get I'm bringing an extra carry-on bag just so you guys are aware, and pretty much the carry-on bag is going to contain nothing but L&M cream donuts, panzerotinis, which are mini panzerottis, pizza dough, and some rolls from Del Bono, so we can come back and, quasi live like I'm living in New Jersey while I'm living in Florida. Some other thoughts that have been coming up recently, just the amount of people that have been reaching out and giving me some good feedback. Appreciate it. Like I said, the idea of just having conversations with friends is incredible. Really good friends, family members, amazing. But the thing I'm starting to really get enticed by is the people that I don't know as well. Like there's a ton of guys I've met at work that I know and I talk to each week for 15, 20 minutes here and there, but you don't really get in depth and go deep with these conversations. So that's kind of a wrinkle I'm looking at now, is sit down with people that I've rarely ever talked to and pretty much get to know them on the airwaves, but, try to do my little spin and just ask stupid questions instead of, obviously mixing the, where were you born? What kind of job you have? What made you want to get into that? But then mix in, like, I don't know, stupid shit right now, like Chick-fil-A, Wendy's. It's not a funny question, but they're going to have little things that we can go off of and riff. And I just want to tell stories, connect. If you guys have any funny experiences you think, and I know I keep beating this over the head, but I'm really trying to figure out a way to appeal to the masses, have everybody who's all into different things be able to tune in and, just be entertained, be driving, have my voice make you maybe remember an old memory that we had together or some funny encounter that we've had. And Lord knows I've had so many of them. Just reconnecting with old buddies and telling goofy stories. Like I'm really looking forward to getting my brother on here. We're both big fans of reality television, especially me. So I could see myself doing some kind of reality corner, but the shows nowadays aren't nearly like they were. Like Jersey Shore, I talked about, they got a new thing called Buckhead Shore coming out, which is pretty much like they're going to Atlanta. And I won't call it like the trashier version of Jersey Shore because I don't know if that's possible, but just younger new cast members that are going to come on and hopefully get drunk and do some crazy shit. And I told my brother, I'm like, make sure you stay dialed into Buckhead so we can kind of recap here and just have fun. And just like how we used to watch Jersey Shore and break it down, let's fucking break it down here on the airwaves and talk about it. So something I've been dealing with recently at work is just trying so hard, to bring that positive energy like I'm known for and bring that positive mentality. When I first started, I was real big on, trying to make friends with everybody and not be so much of a business relationship. And in hindsight, I think I regret that approach a little bit now because, I feel like I'm almost being taken advantage of my niceness, my kindness, my willingness to let people pay less than what they should be. Now it's getting to the point where, you shake hands, you agree to terms at the point of sale with people. Hey, you're putting this much down. You're going to pay this much a week. Well, then these fuckers start missing 2-3 weeks and you got to start hunting them down. And hey, you missed a couple of weeks. Well, I don't have that to make up. Okay, so what can we do to make it right? So I'm really trying to figure out as I go a way to do that. And, maybe have some fucking deadbeats on here that are past due and interview them and find out what's the big holdup because, and we'll just get into a little thing that happened the other day and just kind of pick people's brains off it. I was coming off a previous stop where I was getting nickel and dime, haggled, all the shit and comments about this not here, this is so expensive. So naturally, when you're dealing with all that all day, it just starts wearing thin on you a little bit. So I'll admit I had a moment, just like everybody else, where I got a little frustrated. And then I pull up to the next stop. I'm in the wrong here. I admit it. I kind of block, all of the driveway. I'm going to say majority, but it was the driveway. I blocked the driveway. This is a shop that I usually go and do. It's a pretty quick, hey, how you doing? Nothing you need, nothing fixed. Okay, I'm out of here. So today, or this is last week, something's just been driving me fucking crazy. I blocked the entry and then I'm saying goodbye to the owner, just saying what's up, saying goodbye to him. And then some random guy comes in, very aggressively, very rudely says something, like I'm in the middle of a conversation. You're blocking the entry. Okay, no big deal. Says it again, interrupts me. Okay, so I just pop my head, politely look towards him and say, excuse me? I truly couldn't hear what he said. It wasn't excuse me trying to start shit. If you guys know me, I am not confrontational. If some kid who I think I could beat the fuck out of starts charging me, there's a good chance I'm tying up my Nikes and I'm darting. Like, I don't want to get into a fight. I'm 30 years old. I have nothing to prove. What good is going to come out of that? Hey, maybe I put you in a cool little submission hold, but I get to do that all the time. Mostly I get that done to me. That's more accurate. So yeah, no, I go into a controlled environment and do that kind of stuff. So what do I need to do that on the street for with charges and things coming? So anyway, I look over at him and say, excuse me. And then he just says it one more time, still no eye contact, no smile, just being so rude and so great. And that is, I admit, I shouldn't have reacted the way I did, but these are little triggers for me when people are just outwardly being rude. They're not making any kind of effort to show any kind of human decency, eye contact, a smile, a grin, something like that. So, I just say, would you like me to move the truck? Turns around, walks away. Okay. So I just mumble under my breath, Jesus Christ, just letting it out. And I'm walking to the truck to move, to do exactly what you just asked me to do. And this guy beelines towards me and is literally following me and talking crap into my ear while I'm walking away trying to defuse the situation. Are you a religious man? You pray? Why are you saying Jesus Christ, dude? What's going on with that? Do you want me to move the truck or not? Why is this turning? I'm getting in. I'm getting ready to move. So I move the truck up. I go about it, and this is kind of where I'm really kicking myself here. I shoot the owner a text message and I say something that I shouldn't have said. I'll say it out here because I got nothing to hide. I said, damn, that cocksucker still got me heated. Phone begins to ring. Here he is. So long story short, that then ended up being the business owner's brother who I got into a little dust up with. Now, again, I'm on the phone, I'm apologizing, I'm taking the blame for everything. But then I look back in the situation, I'm like, am I really responsible for all 100% of the onus here? Because, maybe I snapped and looked at him a little aggressively, but he came at me aggressively, and then I walked away and he continued to follow me to the truck. So these are just a little and then I'm getting blamed and now I'm the asshole. It's like these, my point is, these are the kind of jobs I'm just getting into where, and I'm sure tons of you guys have them, they're so thankless, where I feel like I'm doing a good service for people every day. I'm out there, I might not know exactly every answer to every question, but I'm still showing up every day with a truck or without a truck. You got broken stuff, I do my best to fix them and replace them. If not, I reach out to my boss. There's plenty of resources I reach out to, and I do everything in my power to make sure you guys are happy. And it's just getting to the point now, where we're doing all these promotions and contests. And I'm like, I just think I care too much about making people happy and trying to please them and about what they think, and that was a big, I probably would have released this podcast 2 years ago if I didn't care so much about that kind of stuff. And I got to the point with this and I'm like, you know what, screw it. If people are going to think I'm weird or goofy or not funny, everybody's entitled to their opinion. This is just something I want to try and I'm passionate about. But it's the same thing with this job. I'm trying to learn all the things I don't know, the tools, the terminology, how to drive the truck, the lingo, when to show up, how to talk to these people, how to collect the money efficiently, how to not come off as a debt collector. And, but it's like, but you guys can just straight up tell me no. And sorry about the Jackson bark, straight up tell me no to money. And then there's no onus on you to make up for that next week. And here I am fronting you, for lack of better options here, I'm fronting you your drugs that you're paying a percentage on each week. And I tell people, if I'm walking out the door with you, we just came to agreement, hey, $500 down, $50 down, 50 a week. Next week, why do I have to chase you around and make it a whole thing? And now, I come up to you, want to see if anything's broken. Ideally, just volunteer the payment there, where now you're making me into this a-hole where I go around other people. Hey, you got anything? No, man. Okay, well, you miss it. And this is just obviously it's part of the job. You're selling stuff and then you got to collect on it. But it's if you're making these guys a deal, I just don't see the reciprocation I want to be seeing, where, and I'm not everybody's like this, not everybody at all. It's a few of the guys, but it's still something that's crazy. But on the other end of that, there's other guys that previously with Snap-on guys before, they weren't able to either build the trust or build a relationship or build an account to where they could be getting tools that they needed that they may not necessarily be able to afford or pay for right now, but it's going to help them in the long run. So when I started, that was a very big thing of me, is try to meet some of the younger guys and help them get established. So, last night, all the bad shit that I deal with and all the bullshit, I got someone texting me about how, he just got moved up and promoted and got a raise. And a large part of it was due to me working with him, giving him more tools than what he could have afforded at the time, being a little more laid back on collecting the money, giving him a little more time to generate the money. So that's kind of the thing right there that made me feel great, is I'm impacting somebody's life for the better. There's another kid who's been struggling with hours, struggling with times. So, I set up an interview with him at one of the places I stopped to, put in a good word. Things went very well. He had another interview at another place and ended up taking that. So again, I feel like I'm kind of contributing to helping some of these guys that have a hard time, which I tell you, I'm in this job, in this field, because I wanted to do something where I feel like I'm making a positive impact on people and helping them out. And you may think that sounds cliche or bullshit, or I'm just saying it. No, I was looking into guidance counseling or therapy where you can listen, help, diagnose people's problems, help them out, and offer them solutions. I'm virtually doing the same thing now, but I'm wearing 10 other hats trying to figure it out. So yeah, no, I'm working through it. Just like every other job, you got your good days and your bad days. One of my good buddies called me last night and we talked for about, 40 minutes on a phone call. I'm sitting there watching Jack Sparrow. I pause it, see who it is. I'm like, oh, this should be interesting. And, we're just talking about employment opportunities and how I don't like to be complacent. I feel like I get somewhere, I try something, I either like it or I don't. And I want to move on and try something else. Now, like I said, growing up, I grew up where my dad had one job for 30, 40 years, retired with that same company. It's just not as common these days. So, I'm nowhere near the point of quitting my job right now. I love it. I get to see so many cool people every day, but I'm just starting to, and another guy I was venting to today told me, well, maybe you got to just, because right now I'm giving out my cell phone number, my personal number, to all the guys on the road, because I want to be good at this job. And if you're not communicating via mobile with a lot of these guys, you're just not going to be successful. So I think that's something I need to make a point of, is really talking to my boss and letting him know that it's just starting to affect my outside life and it's stressing me out. And I would really like a personal phone to kind of mitigate some of these issues and just get back to having fun. There shouldn't be any kind of, it's just a job at the end of the day, and I shouldn't have to be freaking out so much and stressing and losing sleep over this. And now it's a nice thing about doing this is this kind of gave me, other than I'm not like bragging or saying this, I have a good amount of hobbies outside of work. So I like to always keep myself busy and entertained. And this podcast, recording conversationally, inquisitively, anything you want to call it, this is something that's definitely a major passion project for me right now. I'm really enjoying. I get done taping myself or talking to someone, I'm on a fucking high, like I'm buzzing like crazy. So these are all just things I want to share with people and hope you guys can help me grow. And like, I know I keep, circling back to some of the same topics, but I'm just so grateful for people. Even if you are judging me, it is what it is. This is a huge leap for me to be coming home. Like today I got done work. I just came right on. I hit record. I don't have anything planned out. I don't have anything written down. I'm not going to edit this. I'm going to talk for however long I'm going to talk. I'm going to put it up, upload it, go to jiu-jitsu, forget about it. Learn a bunch of moves tonight that I'll forget tomorrow morning and rinse, repeat, So yeah, I'm saying I'm doing the two a week right now, the Mondays and the Fridays, start of the weekend of the week. And, as more people reach out and the more people I can start talking to, that's something I'm not putting a cap on. If I do 4 or 5 episodes a week, or I bank 4 or 5 in a week and release them later in the week, and I'm not committed to having Monday simply a solo day or Friday simply a solo day. Yeah. So, another thing I was doing yesterday, and was another thing for me that's fun, just have all these little thoughts about, is this scummy? Is this trashy? Is this cool? And then talk about it on here and see what you guys think. You come up to me and you see me. So a big topic conversation, is plastic bags, plastic usage, all that kind of shit. Years ago, my brother, when he started becoming a part of the vegan tribe, which to be honest, I don't fucking miss one iota. That was fucking annoying as shit, where you would come over and you'd see me eating steak and be like, oh, well, the animals can be our friends, but you want to eat them? Shut the fuck up, bitch. Like, I saw you used to eat chicken wings for breakfast by the 50. So now you're going to get on me about animals or friends. Now you're back on the meat train, and I couldn't be happier to have you. And that's for all the vegans out there. You want to do your thing? Cool. But don't get on your moral high ground like you're fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi and I'm Anakin Skywalker, and you're trying to make it seem like you're better than me because you eat fucking plant-based shit. But then you get down to it, you start picking these people's brains about veganism, and they're fucking doing vegetarian, but they're claiming veganism. And like when I used to bartend, I would just make jokes all the time about, I'd put something aesthetically pleasing on, like a Planet Earth, The Hunt, Frozen Planet, Wild Planet, any of that kind of stuff. David Attenborough narrating you through, get you by. And, you'd have these like I remember there's these elephant seals that are just fucking falling off a cliff, all dying, mass suicide. Shout out Jonestown. And the people would be sitting there, oh my God, turn this on. I can't watch this. And I'd look at your plate. I'm like, look at that fucking juicy, red, medium rare burger, dripping blood all over your plate, and then that disgusting mouth of yours. You really care about the elephant seals falling off? The kind of factory farm bullshit that fucking cow had to go through so you could eat that? Like, stop it. We all want to act like we care about these things, and we do to an extent. And that's, I think, where my brother got screwed up. He started watching all these fucking vegan films that are full of propaganda. Like, if you eat red meat, you're going to die. I've died. Really? Like, I remember Joe Rogan used to always talk about this. I'm not trying to steal his point here. They're not taking into account what you're eating with that, what kind of work schedule, what kind of sleep schedule, what kind of exercise you have. You drinking a lot of water. Like, these are all factors that vegans are just blind to, and they just want to put you in a corner. You're a meat eater and you're bad. Shout out if you're a vegan and you're still listening. I appreciate you. I'm not hating on it. I had a brother and practically a sister-in-law who were doing it for the better part of a year, and yeah, we got into it over it, but now I can't tell you anything that brings me more joy than smoking. Like yesterday, I smoked a buffalo chicken dip, and they're fucking former vegans diving in, going nuts, complimenting the smoky flavor, the profile of the chicken, the hot sauce balance, the ratio with the ranch, the blue cheese, the celery stick. So it's a beautiful thing. But anyway, that brings me back to my point. Jackson, stop it! No cuts, no edits. This is unfiltered and raw. So yeah, I get to the point where I walk my dog, and we strategically try to start prancing around the poop zones. Freddie's got his little concentrated areas where he likes Jackson to poop, not to poop. Nice house, very nice lawn, very well kept, no poop. In the middle of 2 houses, no land that's being claimed in the middle, poop. So I'm just curious on people's thoughts on this. Like, if it's not somebody's yard, like we got a couple abandoned lots in the neighborhood here where I'll lead him that way, get him to produce his, as I like to call it, a triple Piddle Deluxe, which is 2 Piddles and a poo. You get the Happy Meal for the triple Piddle Deluxe. We've even gotten the quad Piddle Deluxe before. 3 peas and a poo. Setting records out there, Jaxie. Good shit. But if you go and if your dog takes a shit on one of these abandoned lots, like my brother got me into using all reusable bags and everything. So now it's like this whole trick up of, I'm just being an environmentalist. I don't want to waste the bag. And, the poop helps the soil and it regrows and nature, baby. So like anyone out there who's got a dog, if you're on an episode, store this thought. Like if your dog shits in the middle of a lot or a somewhere where people aren't living, god damn it, will you pick up your dog's shit? Like my mom, she'll pick up the poop, put it in the bag, and then like walk it to like a stop sign so she can do the whole walk without the poop in the bag. Another nice little method. Everyone's got their own style. So did you think you'd be listening to someone talk about, picking up or not to pick up dog poop on your way home from work? Maybe not, but these are the topics that need to be discussed and covered. I feel like there's not a lot of dog poop forums out there, and I kind of want to be the Freddy forum, Talk to me. Dog poop. If it's on someone's lawn, obviously you pick it up. But if we're in the middle of no man's land, well, what are we doing here? That goes into like when my brother, the whole vegan tribe and the fucking plastic, which are all things I'm on board with now. I try to minimize. I don't know. I another thing that I'm curious about here is like, I hate fucking Walmart, but I will go to Walmart once every 2 or 3 weeks to get laundry detergent, toilet paper, just like random toiletries and shit they're literally like between $1 to $3 cheaper Walmart than a Publix. And I've had this thing in my life all the time. Like Walmart's just the trash people, the gutter, the garbage can. Like I've done fucking Walmart POVs when I'm walking through my phone, just taking in the characters one by one. And it's like, where am I? Like, you just see some crazy shit in there. So I have this whole thing about not buying meat from Walmart. I mean, all the meat is coming from the same place but like for some reason I have this thing in my head, like I almost feel holier than thou if I get my meat from Publix or BJ's or Costco as opposed to Walmart. What are your thoughts on that? Am I weird for that? Does that make sense? Does the Walmart meat seem a little more tampered with, if you will? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I remember one time my sister came down. She was in Florida and she was talking about dinner ideas and everything. And I think I went to the gym or something, bike ride, whatever the case may be. And came back home and she was planning, the dinner. And I saw the chicken out. And I'm like, where'd you get this? Walmart. Okay, I'll pass. What? What do you, a little thing like that where she's going out, she's prepping everything, putting the hard work in, and one little douchebag comes up and sees the label. I'll pass. So there's little quirks here and there where you see stuff like, if we're gonna talk about quirks, like, oh my god, if any of you guys saw me, like, here's another episode idea. Like, I'll just literally eat a banana on episode and peel the shit in front of you guys so you can watch. Like, if I see one little fucking string on the banana, like and I can't get it off, I'll like get a knife and cut under the little skin to pull it up and get the little string off. And like, I remember my sister was sitting there on vacation down here and she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just cleaning my banana. And she's like, okay, whatever. And I go and watch other people like just peel the banana off just like a normal person, eat it. And I'm like, oh, the stringy banana. Like, I'm so grossed out by that. So it's just like, growing up, I was such like a texture-based eater. And like, I remember at my old bar, Jungle Bird, I don't know what the fuck prompted me to say this, but I was just like, maybe in like a selling type of mood. And somebody's like, how's your octopus? I was like, don't know, never tried it. But if you order it right now, I'll take a bite. And I'm like, she's not going to order. She's not going to take a bite. Fast forward 35 minutes, fucking long kitchen times. Oh, that kitchen was crazy. The convict kitchen, baby. Convict kitchen. Fred Buck and Curdy Banner. The chefs want to cook tonight, but they can't get your food out. Oh, yeah. Long octopus. So she got the octopus. She gave it to me. She's like, take a bite. I'm like, what? No, you said you take a bite, remember? Oh my God. So I like had her do the smallest little morsel on her fork. Had her feed me like the old You know, here comes the airplane. So as she does it, I open wide, I put, and literally like the smallest little bite, and I just fucking, I couldn't control it. Just reaction, just spit it right there. I was like, oh, I guess you don't like it, huh? No. So I gave her a free drink because of that. You know, it's kind of nasty to have your bartender offering to try the food you get and then to spit it right at your feet after he tries it. So yeah, I got my girl Sacagawea in the background over there, as you can tell. Sacagawea, Indian girl, young, smart, and brave. When I was in elementary school, they had an assembly, I think that's what you used to call it, all about our girl Saki Juizy. So, you know, they were singing a song, they were handing out fucking old coins, and I remember oh my God, let's call him like Johnny Barkfoot. You know how some of these guys have these crazy native names, and he had some weird play on name, and I remember he was just had a knuckle on his left hand, so he'd be like passing out the quarters and like almost like punch passing the quarters to us. These are the thoughts you get on verbal garbage, you know? I just sit here and I look at certain things and I wonder about it. Like, I remember middle school, like I just thought the thought here. I had a friend who would just sit in the back of the room and just huff Sharpies and just get high as fuck, just huffing Sharpies. And, you know, I was writing notes down at work earlier and I can only find a Sharpie. And I thought of him getting high off a Sharpie, you know, and now the way everything's going, the legal weed, the decriminalized mushrooms, what's the harm in sniffing a little marker, you know? So like I said, I'll be going down to Wildwood July, I think 12th through the 18th. And when I get back, my boss is going to be going to Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic. So I'll be running the work truck solo that week, trying to man the operations and take care of it the best of my ability. Yeah, you know, just a Monday. You know, another guy, just like to talk about all the negativity and the thanklessness of the job. A guy who, you know, like keep in mind, you walk into a bay and there could be 30 or 40 techs there. You might do business with 10 of them. The other 5 might have done business with a prior guy and they didn't like his vibe or the way he did business or the way he charged it for something. So they can kind of have that ruin the whole image of a Snap-on guy. So here I am, like my own thing. I guarantee I'm nothing like any of the guys before. I'm a fucking dingbat. I'm crazy. I walk in like, anyways. So I walk into a guy today. I don't want to give too much information out, but you know, a guy who's never bought anything from me, never inquired about buying anything from me, never came on the work truck, never showed any interest in anything. So it's like, you know, one of these things where he has something from the past and I just kind of represent the company and deal with the issues. So he reached out to me about a certain product that wasn't working for him anymore, but due to the way the company works, we can't warranty it out. It's not replaceable or refundable due to the issues, just shelf life. You know, you use this thing for a certain amount of time, it works, and just there's not a defect in workmanship. So, you know, I'm just smiling. Literally the first guy I see when they walk in the shop, just hand out flyers. So what'd you find out about that? Yeah, I don't think you're gonna like my answer. Exactly how I respond. Well, what's the answer, dude? Yeah, there's no warranty on that, unfortunately. So I'm sorry about that, brother. I did what I could, but that's just it. And you wonder why I don't fucking do business with you. You think I'm ever gonna fucking come on that truck? And I'm sitting here like, no, I don't, and no, I don't give a fuck. Because this is the way you're gonna react over something that I didn't even help with. I didn't sell you. I wasn't even working with the company. I didn't even know what fucking Snap-on was at the time you bought this thing. And now you're gonna curse me off and treat me like that. Guess what? If you want to come on the truck, I'll do you one better. Get the fuck off. Don't come on the truck. Like, I don't understand this mentality. Like, yeah, I get it. You can get Milwaukee, Macco, maybe a little bit cheaper. I'm showing up every week to your shop, you know. You don't have, if your impact breaks on site, yeah, granted, you got to wait 4 to 8 weeks and you might have to pay a little bit, but I'm walking in your shop. I'm taking tool. I'm submitting the service order. I'm doing everything for you. You just wait. And a lot of times these guys get loaners, you know, so they break their electric ratchet. I give them an electric ratchet for 4 weeks to use. Like, where is the issue? So, you know, people like that are just going to be so ungrateful and so rude and so dismissive. You wonder why I don't fuck. Like, you could have just said, oh, man, that's a shame. You know, it's a shame things like you can't hook me up or help me out or look out for me a little bit. You think I'm fucking going to support you now? You think I'm going to come on the truck? Fuck off. I don't care. Like, and if you listen to this podcast and you have an issue with that, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I try to give all you guys the benefit of the doubt and try to be as cool as I can and understanding as I can and work around you. And we're all humans. We all have bad days. We all have moments where we lash out on someone who doesn't deserve it. But I just don't understand. Like, I try to be as open and honest with everybody as I can. And I still feel like I'm either being taken advantage of or just not treating as fairly as I can. Let me let my dog in. He's crying. I don't want to have him. Last couple minutes of this might go off the rails here. Hey, buddy, come on in. But, you know, we don't want to have the doggy crying. So, Jackson, you want to say what's up? There he is, buddy. There's the beautiful little lab. Hey, buddy. So, yeah, he's nagging me right now. Probably go take him for a walk. Again, anybody at all, you like what you hear, you don't like what you hear, drop a comment, shoot me a text, leave me a response. Come on the show. Let's talk about on air what you don't like about the show, what you do like, what we can work on. So I really look forward to talking to some more people, getting some new guests on here. This one's getting cut a little bit short due to Jackson needs to go for a walk. So let's see where he decides to take a dookie. Maybe we'll produce a little triple Piddle Deluxe, and maybe he'll poop on a little yard that I don't have to pick it up and save the plastic bag and save the earth, and everything works out for the benefit, you know? And I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. And for all the people that tell me to slow down when I'm talking, this is usually what it sounds like, but I've been doing a really good concerted effort to slow down. So I hope you guys listen. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please listen. Please tell all your friends. Please keep liking. Please keep giving me details. Please keep giving me feedbacks. Thank you so much for listening to Verbal Garbage. And we out. Love you guys. Thank you so much.